You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button.
You know, admittedly, a lot of the focus right now, spring football is starting up, but so much of the focus from like a scouting standpoint is really on the 2024 NFL draft. The combine's going on this week. You'll have pro days to follow that, and then before you know it, it'll be April, and the draft will be here. But Pro Football Focus did start to look forward to 2024 college football, and they're doing their position rankings in terms of the best returning players at each position in the country. The top 10, I believe, is what they did. And earlier this week, they released their top 10 returning offensive tackles for 2024. Yeah, you know where this is going, but don't get ahead of me. Number one on that list, from your Fighting Tigers of LSU, Will Campbell. Pro Football Focus has him as the top returning offensive tackle in college football for 2024. That really should not come as a total surprise. We can go ahead and go through this write-up if you want to. He started at left tackle. He started at left tackle since he was a true freshman in 2022, and has just been nothing but dominant really in those 2 years. As a freshman, he had the second best pass blocking grade on true pass sets at 85.6. It trailed only Peter Skornowski. Of course, he was at Iowa and then went 11th overall in the draft. Will Campbell was behind the 11th overall pick as a freshman at LSU only in pass blocking. And this past season took a jump in his run blocking, 5th among FBS offensive tackles there, and was the 5th most valuable Power 5 tackle since 2022, according to Pro Football Focus's wins above average metric. The only 3 players ahead of him are all projected first-round picks in 2024. It makes a lot of sense that Will Campbell is the top returning offensive tackle. I don't think that's any surprise to anybody. Most here, and I think around the country, expect him to be a first-round draft pick in 2025, and he'd be LSU's first-round draft pick along the offensive line since Alan Faneca in 1998. How many times have we heard of that, uttered throughout the recent history of LSU? And as you might expect, we're not done on that list when talking about LSU tackles. Emery Jones lands there too. He lands at number 9 on the list of the top 10 returning tackles. Pro Football Focus about Emery Jones, they note that he was a little slower to get going as a freshman than Will Campbell, but did start the majority of that year and then really made a jump in his sophomore season, improving both his overall grade and his pass blocking grade by more than 16 points, I should say, and finishes as the 6th highest graded tackle in the Southeastern Conference as a sophomore, and now he is back for a junior year. So when you look at this list and you see, and look, it's just one metric, but Pro Football Focus is pretty well respected. They have LSU returning the number 1 overall tackle in college football and the number 9 overall tackle in college football. LSU's got the best duo. And I think when you look at what Brian Kelly has done at LSU so far through 2 years, and obviously, look, the 20 wins, that's impressive. You're looking to take the next step. You look at winning the SEC West, beating Alabama your first year, that's impressive. You're looking to take the next step. Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback. That's impressive. I don't really know if there's a next step unless Garrett Nussmeier wants to haul off and win the Heisman Trophy. But that's very impressive. All of that in 2 years. And I think arguably the most impressive thing that Brian Kelly has done in his 2 years at LSU is just the fast turnaround, the speed at which LSU has developed into such an elite offensive line. And it's not just Brian Kelly. Obviously, Brad Davis deserves a heck of a lot of credit for that as well. But it was one of the hallmarks of Brian Kelly coach teams throughout his career is dominant offensive line. And you've paired him with Brad Davis, and it has turned into this overhaul along the offensive line. And Will Campbell and Emery Jones have obviously been huge parts of that. But Garrett Dellinger, you have Miles Frazier as well, obviously, both returning, coming back to anchor that line. And it's going to be a huge part of why LSU's offense should be able to just kind of keep going here in 2024. And you look at what they're doing in recruiting. We sit here and we talk about it with Shea every week. 5-star signee after 5-star signee. It's incredibly impressive, the job that has been done by Brad Davis, by Brian Kelly, of overhauling this LSU's offensive line and doing it so quickly. And we touched on it a little bit there in a previous segment in the show about Garrett Nussmeier and needing to continue to build on the performance he had in the bowl game. And one reason that that's possible is the line he's going to have in front of him. And it will allow him the time. It will allow him to have a running game to get the ball to those weapons that they have on the outside. Because, I mean, LSU's going to be fine at receiver. They note that in the write-up about Will Campbell, about LSU having to replace Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors. They leave off Brian Thomas, but they have to replace Brian Thomas too. Okay. I mean, you've got plenty. The cupboard is not bare. Kyron Lacey. You got freshmen that we didn't even really get to, sophomores that we didn't even get to really see freshman year. Shelton Sampson. You bring in Xavion Thomas. You bring in CJ Daniels. I mean, you still have Aaron Anderson. You're loaded at wide receiver. And Will Campbell, Emery Jones, and company are going to stonewall SEC fronts all year long and let Garrett Nussmeier have time to sit back there and hopefully pick apart opposing secondaries en route to a lot of LSU's victories, a lot of LSU victories, I should say, this season. So there you go. LSU, you can hang your hat on that. See what you improve on defense, but you can hang your hat on having the top duo returning offensive tackles in college football per Pro Football Focus with Will Campbell and Emery Jones.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.